All right, this is take number 2. Apparently, we had some technical difficulties for the first question, so I'm going to redo this question. And basically, this question it comes from someone that says, "How does one deal with a former friend who understands that you are now fully persuaded of the love that Christ gives and the benefits of trusting on His word and actions, and sees you as practicing cognitive dissonance, or choosing an alternative to reality?" So question is basically someone who's gotten saved and believes in Jesus and is following after Jesus, has had a radical change in their life, and their friend pretty much thinks they're crazy, thinks that they're just, I don't know, just practicing cognitive dissonance, or just following after, a lie, because it's not really real. So this is like a friend that thinks they're brainwashed or something like that. So this is tough because when we get saved, oftentimes there's a radical change. We don't do the same things we used to do. And it can be tough to lose friends and they think you're crazy because, you're walking with God. So a lot of times you end up being on fire for God and trying to share the gospel with your friends or whatever, and they just don't get it. You can tell them, you can try to share the same thing that you learned. But a lot of times, sometimes it works out, it's great, but sometimes it doesn't really work, and their eyes just aren't open yet. So the main thing you want to do is pray for them. But there's a scripture in Philemon 1 verse 6, and it says, it says that the communication of thy faith may become effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing which is in you in Christ Jesus. So, once you've done everything else, once you've preached the gospel, once you've tried to communicate as much as you possibly can, it said the communication of your faith may become effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing which is in you in Christ Jesus. So that means, when you show and prove and you share with your friend the changes that God has made in you, and you give Jesus the credit and the glory for it, then the communication of your faith becomes effectual, because you can say, well, hey, I used to do this, but because Jesus is in me, now I do this, or I used to fall in that, but now I don't, and I do what God has asked me to do. So when you kind of show and prove that proof of the good things that are in you in Christ Jesus, it makes the communication of your faith effectual. And so it makes the communication of your faith actually put in work and make movements and exercise force. So once you've done everything you can, just continue to show and prove the fruit, and that'll make the communication of your faith effectual to your friend and to others as well. Once again, they still have to make their own choice. God doesn't force anyone, but you can definitely make the communication of your faith effectual just by showing and proving the good things that are in you because of Jesus Christ. So just be patient and don't worry. Just continue to follow God, teach and preach the word, and bear good fruit in your life above all things. And that should work out.